Hi, I am Shelly, and this is the Edgy Gardener channel, and I'm so glad you found me. I want to do a quick garden tour today because in a very short while, what I have going on in these areas is going to be gone. And we have some big plans for this area right here in the yard, and I was assuming that that was going to be happening next spring, but we met with the professionals and it's going to be happening in a matter of days, which means there is tons of landscaping I need to move. And fall is the best time to plant, so that is working in my favor. However, I typically look at an area and I think about it for a long time, and I draw it out and I think and I shop, and it just takes me a long time to figure out what that space needs. And inevitably I purchase or I dig up and I put in, and then I move it again, plant it, and the next season I end up rethinking things a little bit. So I do not have the brain that can just perfectly lay everything out. It's a trial and error for me, which makes me nervous because I only have a few days to move a lot of things. So let's just go through, and if nothing else, this is just for my memory also to see what I did create and what I destroyed. So here we go. So this is a bowling ball arborvitae. I say arborvitae. I've heard people start saying it arborvitae. I don't know, maybe it's a regional thing or my mispronunciation, but this is so gorgeous here. I love it. I had no idea it was going to be this big, but it's just perfect for that spot. That's a window well here that it covers up. Over here is some ground cover and sedum that was a stowaway on another plant and just fell there and grows, and I've left it. And then we come around to the Zagreb Coreopsis. I don't typically do a lot of yellow, and so this is my biggest area with yellow, and I've always enjoyed it. I love the thread leaf versions of Coreopsis, where they're just small, tiny little needle-like plants, but they're still so soft. This blooms so well in the summer, and it has colonized in this area right here. I hope this moves and transfers pretty well. I have a pot of annuals here, which is a bit sloppy. It gets kind of messy. Now, I have some penstemon back here, that purple leaf, and Siberian iris that blooms purple in the spring, and a daylily that hasn't done anything in a year, and I was going to move it anyway. Oh, and then a heuchera here that was dug up and didn't find a home, so my husband placed it right there. So the plan is that all of this concrete is going to be ripped out, and the concrete will come. So what will be saved is from that bowling ball over to the beginning of the fountain. That should stay, but everything else is going away. Everything else will be sacrificed. So I have these geraniums. These are Roseanne geraniums. People live and die by these things. Every gardener should have them. They're kind of so-so for me. And I do believe right now this is a me problem. I think I just do not water them enough. But gardeners say it's one of the easiest plants. They're just a little bit more finicky for me. And I can see some of the leaves. Maybe, is that an iron deficiency there? I don't know. But I do have a place for these. I enjoy them. They bloom purple. So I am excited to move those and find them a new home, and maybe I can take care of them in a better way. This is a Weigela, and I think it's rubies and gold. I've just not been so happy with this one. It's sort of moppy and sloppy, and I've trimmed it back and let it grow wild and back and forth. So I have two of these, one further down the way, and I'm not sad about losing these. I don't think I'm going to find another home here in my landscape. I think I'm going to find somebody who will adopt these two Weigelias. I have a Baptisia back here, which blooms purple. I cannot think of the name. Maybe I'll put it on this screen. And phlox, David phlox, right here. And back there is under an eaves a little bit, right up here, so it doesn't get the rainwater. This is Liatris here. I'm trying to think of the other name for it, but Liatris. Anyway, big or tall purple flowers. They bloom all summer for me, and I've always loved them. I bought 10 bulbs via mail years ago, and now they are all over my garden, and they just bloom wherever they want to, and I typically will leave those because I do enjoy them. And then we have sedum, Autumn Joy sedum, which they are performers, and they're so very pretty. All summer long, I love their shape and the structure that they add to the garden with the thick leaves, and then when they start to flower, and every stage of their flower, even when they start to dry out like this, I love it. So Autumn Joy is this variety, and I know this isn't an overwatering problem because we already talked about the geranium issues. I think because I mulched this season, I think I put too much mulch too close to the crown, because I know sedum like to be left alone. But anyway, even so, that's very pretty. Need to find them a nice home. This one just gave up. But I think even if I replant that somewhere, I think it will come back. They are that strong and vigorous. More Siberian iris, and then I have these blackberry iris here. Look at these. I don't know if these are edible. I leave them for humans. I don't know if we can eat them. I don't know if they're poisonous, but I leave them for the birds. And they have orange flowers that bloom, orange speckled flowers that bloom in the summer. Really pretty. And they're, again, they self-seed and they just pop up, and they're unobtrusive, so I let them go as well. More Liatris back there, and more phlox. And then another one of the Wigelia, and I hope I'm saying that right, rubies and gold. My trellis here that my husband bought me this year from Gardener Supply. We waited, I don't know, 5 months for these to come in the mail. During quarantine is when we ordered them, and everything was slow. And I was so excited to have a little clematis or a rose grow up those trellises. However, I don't know what will happen now. We will see. The trellises will stay, and hopefully I will find a nice big pot to go there. But this will be concrete that goes up to the house. We have a container there, which I went over in the container video, and everything's coming out of there anyway. And then I have my Centraglow 9-bark. I've talked about this shrub before. I love it. I think it is so very pretty. Every stage, it just kind of wows me every year. And see when the sun comes through it. I love its positioning. So this is staying. So the concrete that we have will go up to here, and then, you know, we'll remove those bricks, and the concrete will be the garden edge. And then we'll come over to the house. So that will stay. So this part is just plain embarrassing, but for posterity, we are going to film it. So what is happening is, in this area right here, there will be a pool with concrete on the edge. We'll have a fence that comes along here and then meets the corner of the house. So in this area over here will be a 4x6 pad with the pool equipment. My serviceberry, he promised me it will stay, and I hope it will stay without damage. So everything in here will go, and everything back here is easily movable. This is a pot with a Sum and Substance hosta. I was trying to find a home for that this year because where it was, a tree was limbed up and gets too much sun, so I was trying to find a happier spot for it. End of the season, they're just not looking very good. Joe Pyeweed here, which every year looks so good and so neat. This year they did not do very well. Maybe it was me, maybe they just had an off year, or maybe they have a very short life cycle, I'm not sure. All of those will come out. This hosta down here, my Helen von Steen lamb's ear back here will come out. And then my, what are these? These are liliums. They're orange, I think orange matrix lilium, which of course look horrible right now. And then look, more liatris, or liatris. I don't know how you say it, but I think you get the gist of what that plant is. So all of that is going away. The other area that we need to change is this area back here, which we just did this spring. Now that doesn't permanently have to be moved, but enough of it has to be moved so the trucks can get through this area to the backyard. So the trellis has to go away. The trellis that I just planted, a sweet autumn clematis. I planted a new dawn climbing rose in early spring and it didn't bloom, but it is growing up and over on top and through the trellis. So I was so excited for this spring to see those just really delicate, pretty blooms. So digging it up, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So the trucks are going to come straight through here. So these two pots right here of my spiral, those are arborvitaes as well. Those will just be moved over, not a problem. The trellis will come up, like I said. I'm not worried about the grass. My husband will fix the ruts and replant grass, whatever they do. But let's just take a stroll. Oh, and this area will need to go away too, now that I'm thinking about it. More sedum. This is a smaller version of Joe Pye weed. I have some Japanese bloodgrass there. I have some little bunny penstemon, pennisedum, I should say. Didn't do very well. I think not enough sun. Some Carl Forster grass. I had big plans for this area, just a tiny little area with some fun color, but that will go away as well. This will go away, Japanese bloodgrass. I have a baby black lace elderberry. I forgot the name of it. Good thing I have all those labels there, because half the time I forget about them. So all of this will go away. So one more view of the side of the house. Oh, I need to move those pots. See? It sounds a bit like I'm complaining, and maybe I am. There's the dog barking. Hi, Winnie. Great Dane there on the other side of the fence. Maybe I am complaining just a little bit. I'm excited for what we have going on. This was sort of my husband, my hole digger's dream, not mine. But he doesn't really deny me much in my garden, as you can see. So pulls what he wants and pulls what he's going to get. And it will be great. And I know I can grow things on the fence and put things in pots, and any speck of dirt I have, I will put something in there to make it pretty. I'm just sort of lamenting the disappearance of what I have enjoyed. And this area, like this behind the house, I barely have to do anything with it. It's one of the areas in my garden that just it does its own thing. And I have been happy with it for years, whereas other areas I put things in and I just can't ever get it right. So I'm always working on them. Now I'm tending this over here, but I'm not trying to constantly build it. Things aren't dying and I'm not having to remove things or add things. So it's just sad that one of those carefree areas is going away. But new and better things, and I'm sure I will spend all winter getting more ideas of how to landscape and decorate a pool. And it'll be fine. It will be fine. And all of these will find a new home. Really quick, I'm going to show you where I think a lot of this stuff is going, because I don't think I'm going to have time to film it, because I have a few days to put everything in its place. So on the side of our house, see, that's where we were before, the hydrangea trees back here. I have this row of yews, this arbor here with a different sort of clematis, and trying to get into the shade here. And these arborvitaes, they shield the hot tub over there and offer some privacy. We planted these when we first moved in. So a lot of those things on the side of the yard I'm going to try and transplant over here because it is the easiest, most open spot. I'll transplant them here, and then we will reconsider, replant in the spring. So that's the plan. So if you are still watching, thank you so much for sticking with me for that little stroll. And I think that I can see myself looking back on this video and reminiscing on what my garden was before the pool, which I'm sure we will enjoy as well. So thank you so much. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and I would very much appreciate it if you would share it with anybody you know who might enjoy it, and hit subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.